here's the big question. How is it that most entrepreneurs hustle and are always busy and struggle to take just one step forward only to fall two steps back? They're dedicated, determined, and driven, but only a few finally break through and win. This show uncovers those quantum leap patterns of highly successful people so you can simply model what they do and apply to your future success. That's the question, and the answers are right here. My name is Brigitta Hoeferle, and this is the Success Patterns Show. And you are at the right place at the right time. Welcome, everyone. Happy Tuesday. The Success Pattern Show with Brigitta Hoeferle, where we put the do in learn, do, teach. I'm the founder of the Success Pattern Movement and the CEO of the Center of NLP. And we are going to talk about success patterns. We're going to peel back the layers, if you will, from the onions of success. Whatever success means to you. And can we agree that everyone has a different definition of success? And that's amazing. Now, success patterns, what we do in this show is we look at what are the continuous steps or the continuous examples that someone followed to get to their outcome that they have desired for themselves and to continue to get to their desired outcomes, because it's not the destination, or it's not the end destination. It is the journey there. And it is, I think we can all agree, the continuous journey that we go on to how you define success. So the definition of pattern is an example for others to follow. And with our guest experts, we're going to give you exactly an insight on what they're modeling for us and how they got how do they define success? Because sometimes it has to do with money. Sometimes it doesn't have to do with money. Can be, how are you being of service in a very successful way? All of that is part of success. So in this show, we are decoding the patterns of our guest experts. So you can then encode those patterns in your own life so you can have the successes where you're looking for them in your own life. As humans, we are hardwired for hands-on application by a living teacher. And yes, our guest experts are teachers, if they call themselves teachers or not, because we can learn from them, and anyone that we can learn for, in my book, is a teacher. We are grand masters at work. Here, we're not theoreticians because they only talk a good game. We're going to give you tips on how to model success. We're going to give you great, fun information that you can implement because success is already yours. Today is a great show. We're going to bust some myths here. I have an incredible woman on our show for today. She speaks and writes inspiration. She's ready to inspire, and holy cow, wait till you feel and see and hear her energy. She inspires the audience to align passion and purpose and come alive to the possibility and beauties of your dreams. Yes, you out there. She's a former federal immigration prosecutor. She's a TEDx speaker, leadership, and certified happiness life coach. She's an award-winning author of The Magical Guide to Bliss. Side note, make sure that you stay till the end because there's going to be a gift for you. The daily keys to unlock your dreams, spirit and inner bliss, sparkle and shine, 108 mantras to brighten your day and lighten your way, and Butterfly Awakens, a memoir of transformation through grief. I think we all are going to either have experienced grief or going to sometime in the future. She founded Butterflies and Bliss LLC and S.H.I.N.E Network, Inc., a nonprofit that provides educational scholarships to young, innovative leaders in her community. Thank you just for that. And there's so much more to come. S.H.I.N.E was a recipient of the Anthem Awards, honored for community organizations. She holds a BA in Spanish from Boston College, an MA International Affairs from the University of Miami, a GD from St. Thomas University School of Law, and a certificate in happiness studies from the Happiness Studies Academy. She's also a certified federal law enforcement instructor and mentor, and a Love Button Global Movement Ambassador. I know, it's incredible. It keeps going. She has appeared on CNN Español, BookCon Live, and online media such as Thrive Global, MSNBC, CBS, Boston Herald, Chicago Tribune. She hosts a YouTube and podcast called Manifesting with Meg, Conversations with Extraordinary People. She also hosts a YouTube, Instagram live show called Amazing Authors. Oh my gosh. We're going to bust some myths today. So buckle up, guys. I have with me today our guest expert, Miss Meg Nocero. Meg.
Hi, how are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm great. I'd love to meet the person you just announced. I was waiting.
Listen, you got to meet her. She's amazing. Let me tell you.
Oh my God. I have to say, the whole idea behind your show, Success Patterns, I always love to play in that realm because you're right. There's so many different definitions to success and what that means and where you're going in your life and the process it takes to get there. So excited to have a conversation with you, Brigitta.
Oh my gosh. So Meg, how does one go from federal immigration prosecutor over to being a TEDx speaker? And I want to hear more about that because we just had a TEDx coach on last week, to being a certified happiness coach. Tell me about the journey.
You know, one of the things I love to say is that life throws you curveballs. And when it does, you either fall apart, which I will have to say I kind of did when it happened, or respond in kind. And, you know, when I was working with the government, it was really something that I had aspirationally wanted to do. Public service has always been something that in my family we hold to high regard. My grandfather was a congressman in New York in the 60s. You know, we have this idea of service and showing up to, you know, give back to the country that's given us so much. And when I had that was my second legal job, when I had the opportunity to work and do that as a federal immigration attorney with the Department of Justice first, Immigration Naturalization Service. Then it changed after 9/11 to Department of Homeland Security, ICE. It was really something that I really felt proud of, and I was happy to do, and I was, you know, excited to jump in and, you know, put to task the litigation skills that I had learned in law school. And, you know, all up to that point, I had languages in my background. I was so interested in foreign policy, et cetera. So that was like the job that I wanted. And then life happens and things started to unfold, you know, very differently than I had ever imagined. My mother passed away in 2011. And she basically said to me, you know, you don't want to have regrets when it's your time. And the other aspect was, you know, stress is gonna, you know, overwhelming stress is not good for anybody. It's just not. And we all know what stress can do. Is, you know, the cornerstone of a lot of chronic illnesses. So, you know, as I faced you know, one of those wake up moments in my life, losing someone who was so incredibly important to me, I started to take that really deep dive, profound look at what it is that I really wanted to show up as and do in my life. And writing was always a component that, you know, clearly as a lawyer I had to. And also, you know, speaking was another avenue. And I was the head of the intern program at Department of Homeland Security. So I was always teaching the law students when they came in, like the professional and professional the personal and professional reputation. So important how you show up, that you're not bifurcating who you are at home and who you are at your job. And for me, I loved that. It made me, like, you know, one of the questions was like, what makes you jump out of bed? To do that, to teach others to really come alive to the passions, find their purpose and meaning, was so profoundly fulfilling and satisfying that is really what was calling me.
Yeah, that jumping out of bed and that not having any regrets, right? That's almost like a wake-up call. When I'm really curious because often we see the patterns that drive us or that we drive, depending on, you know, if you're living at cause or in effect, are established when we're little.
Yeah.
and then we decide, do we want to keep them or do we want to throw them out if we're going through some sort of self-growth in our older years. What did little Meg want to do when she was little?
Oh, hands down, fashion designer. I used to draw dresses like nobody's business. I used to, like, all the time just be fascinated by these incredible gowns that I was always sure that I was going to be in that realm. I used to steal the sheets out of my mother's, linen closet, and I used to cut like the fabric off to make dresses on my Barbies, so I could see what I could do back in the day. And just, I just loved that. I just loved the glamour and the glitz. And it's so interesting because, in my family, and I don't know about yours, Brigitta, but, my parents were so much focused on education, which I think is a fantastic thing to give your children. Nobody's sneezing at that. But back in the day, yeah, it was lawyer, doctor, teacher, all the professions that were, understood and accepted. God, the world's changed since then, right? I mean,
yeah,
doors have opened that you could not have possibly imagined back then. I mean, having this conversation where you're in another part of the country, we would never have had this opportunity either. So, I'm super excited about the fact that this is where we are in the world. I wish I could have gone back, and it's never too late, right? Never too late for anything. I'm like, I'll grab my tiara like the best of them. That's for sure. And, I always tell my daughter one day that I'll design her dress for the Tonys. So you'll never know what happens in the future.
I love it. And I see the book in your background. There is that gown, right? So it is coming out.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. Yeah. For sure. It's funny because I did have the opportunity to design my prom dresses and my dancing and all that. I did with a dressmaker, Italian dressmaker that we had in my neighborhood. And so it did come, it wasn't squashed. It wasn't squashed, but as a career, where I wanted to take it to the next level, for me, it was really, okay, you're going to be, a lawyer or a doctor. And for me, I hated blood. So
look, there's, like you said, it's not too late, right? Iris Apfel is 100 now? I think she's 100 years old. So go for it.
Amazing.
Live your dreams.
Amazing.
Live your dreams. So after you have gone to school and you have clearly accomplished a lot already in your life, looking back, what would you say were the consistent steps, rituals, habits that you've created that led you to where you are today?
Well, I'm very intentional. I think that over and above anything else, I really do thrive when I have set goals for myself, and set goals that are inspired goals, not something that I should do, but more along the lines that we were talking before, you get to do. Because even with the shoulds of life, right? Those things that, responsibility, obligation, whatever, you have to have some of the magic there. You have to have those things that you really get excited about. And that's the whole we're talking about at the outset in my bio, is like coming alive to the beauty of your dreams, like to even see those steps and furtherance of how your dreams unfold and how to, create those connections where you meet people and then the next door opens. It's like this synchronistic, wonderful, kind of like you get to step into that world and wow, what's going to happen next? And I it's interesting because when I did my TEDx, one of the things that I really wanted to focus on was, if you look at your life as if it's a stage, right? And every time you show up every morning for your performance, which is really what you're doing in the world, the drama side of me comes out, then you get to be really curious as to who shows up on that stage with you. And then it becomes really kind of more of like a sleuth-ish kind of thing, where you're the detective and you get to see, what different relationships you get to have that day or experiences that unfold. And then I love this as well. I always, one of the catchphrases that I've often said is, you're never going to believe what happened today. Because some of the times those are the things that happen today, you know, like there's like, oh my God, you'll never believe who I met, who I knew, and whatever. It just builds on each other. And so as far as those things that make me a success is the intentional setting of those goals that really mean something to me, that get me going and get me charged. I mean, I have the responsibilities too, and not bifurcating that and just shunning that. You know, I have children, I have a family, but the reality is people have to really want to wake up in the morning and experience life. And when you have those vision, that goal, that intentional setting of where you want to take this life party, so to speak, then the journey becomes even better.
While you're talking, it is very obvious for the trained ear to hear that you have learned to live a lot in your left brain, right? You're very strategic, you're very knowledge driven, and yet I think naturally you were born in that right side, in that creative side of your brain. And over the years, there's great brain synapses that have been built from left brain to right brain. And I don't see or hear it often, but with you, it is very obvious. So great job on whatever you did and your parents did when you were young. So, you know, as you said earlier, we live in an interesting time. When we first met, I was in Germany. You were somewhere in the States.
Yeah.
Now we're in one end of the States and the other end of the States. And this is all possible. And we've set some new norms, right? Mm-hmm. This morning, I went to the city of Atlanta, to City Hall. I had to get some information. And there used to be like 20 people servicing people. There were 3.
Oh, wow.
And everything else is, you know, moving to online. And I'm like, I didn't even think, you know, last time I went through that process of, you know, rezoning and all of that good stuff, I needed to go there. I needed to get a number, you know, sit there for the entire day. So we definitely live in an interesting time. And when everything is up in the air, we get to create it new.
Yeah.
What's your secret to keeping sanity? You have kids, you're at home, you got business. What's your secret?
So I would say the first thing that comes to mind when you say keeping my sanity, which I'm questioning whether I have done that, you know, especially in light of like everything that's happening in the world today, right? I will say it's my friends. Oh my gosh. And my family, my friends, they are the cornerstone to when I feel most kind of this is too much or oh my God, what have I done? You know, I can go to those people who I consider to be my inner circle, who I trust and who I have a lot of, you know, I like to say a lot of story collateral with them. Like they say, you know, find the people who, you know, you can trust to, you know, tell where you've hidden the body, so to speak, you know, that you can rely on and they will support you no matter what in your life. That is really the key to my sanity. And I think it's really the key to a lot of the, like, kind of like you're saying, the change. And I wouldn't say so much only disruption, but the transition over the last few years. I think that, you know, when you see something that's a challenge, and I always say, once I go through one challenge, it's the evidence will show that I can go through that challenge and another challenge and another challenge, because in the past, I've been able to rise to the occasion, even though it felt really foreboding and overwhelming. So the tools that you gain over time, right? So I would say a lot of my favorite tools are those magical connections that I've made with the amazing people who have showed up in my life over and over again. And we have stories, like we have real, like, foundational stories that we've kind of walked through, I would say, the mud or the quicksand maybe at times together. And, you know, that person will turn around and say, oh, don't be giving up now, pull you forward. So I think that's really very important in life, to have your inner circle that you can trust and rely on, for sure.
Do you find the older you get, the more going to use the word picky you get with people that you allow in your inner circle?
I love that you're asking that question because it's something that I've thought about, in the last 2 weeks because, I was really tired and burnt out. I put my memoir out there in September 7th of last year. And it's been such a pounding, like as far as getting your word, getting your audience, getting your name out there, your brand. And, I am becoming very picky, for lack of a better word, like you're just saying, as to who I'm give my energy to. And I think that's really important too, because you got to fill your cup, right? So I find that people who are incredibly generous of spirit, which is really important to me because I'm very generous of spirit. If I find you like that, and there's this kind of karmic give and take, then it does feel in that intuitive place in your gut, your soul, your heart space, whatever you want to call it. It does feel better, right? It feels like this is a balanced, wonderful connection. Not to say that everyone is going to be like that. People reason, season, lifetime, right? We have people reason, season, lifetime. And I always get, curious around to, oh, this person's in my life. Why are they in my life? But for those moments when I'm feeling really kind of maybe even depressed, I would even say that, or really low energy, for sure, the circle's a little bit smaller than it would have been when I was younger. And that's because in my family, I don't think that there were any people that we met that were strangers. Like it was always welcome to our house. Like very, sure. I mean, I'm an Italian background. It was very, come over, please be included,
That's the culture.
It's the culture. And it's a beautiful, beautiful legacy that my parents have given to me. It's that kind of welcoming, embracing that, we're all really of the same. And I love this. We were all made from the same stardust. I listened to something that said that this morning, welcoming into my family. I think that that's a beautiful thing. But I do think there are times where you're just, sometimes you have to be more,
selective.
Selective. Yes. Perfect word.
I'm going to hand you through the ether, a magic wand. What are you going to do with it?
Oh my God. Anytime anyone hands me a magic wand, my God, it's that great, the conundrum of life. Do you make those wishes for yourself or do you make them for the altruistic world? Right. So let's say I have the wand. It's not going anywhere. I can do both. I would say for sure, one of the things that I would want is there, they say world peace, like peace for people. Like there's a sense of calm so that, there's a trust that I can, wave my wand and I could say, Brigitta, anything in your life, everything is going to be fine. Everything's going to work out. Don't worry. Just be present and live your life. And whatever that means, your dreams will unfold how they should unfold for you. Your life will unfold for you. And I wish the same for myself, right? So in my children and people I love and people I don't even love, that I don't know, I wish for all of us, that magical wand, your wishes come true, there's abundance of that, and it's okay. And all the lessons that you need and all the wisdom you'll need, you'll get so that hopefully you learn from the challenges, you learn from the celebrations, but you take that with you as you build your legacy of your own life. You're living out your legacy, which, and then the other part, could be very selfish or very, essential, I wish, that people that are suffering right now, I wish they could take away that pain somehow, And I always say, but then you rob them of the experience, which, that's a whole nother, philosophical journey, that you speak to. But, acceptance is a beautiful thing, I think, at the end of the day. And that wish that people could somehow see the beauty in themselves so that they will give themselves permission to come alive to the beauty that is their life. That would be the greatest, I would say, thing I could do with a wand. That's for sure.
Love it. Love it. I'm with you on that one. Thank you for sharing that. And I love your sentiments around that. And I think if we could all just, every day, just stay calm and quiet just for a few moments and send out some really good positive energy and wish someone peace.
Yeah.
Or wish over something peace.
You
I'm
know,
going to ask.
I was going to say one thing onto that point. I said people really, there was a beautiful thing that happened this summer when my daughter went to this Broadway collective, and the way the teacher was addressing these young people, she's 13. She said, "Look around. This is not your competition. This is your collaboration. You are here together to work together because we are connected. We are all connected." And I think if people see that more and more, that things change. Your perspective changes, your attitude changes. And I think that's when I think a lot of healing can start. And that would be a great thing if we started treating each other like, the golden rule, right? Do unto others as you want to be done unto yourself. So
yeah. Thank you for that. You brought gifts. You came bearing gifts.
I did. Yes, I did. So the first 5 people who contact me today at my email address, megnocero@mac.com, and reference the show, the Success Patterns show that you are watching this now, or you are watching this when it airs, I will be giving each of you a book, The Magical Guide to Bliss, because I am starting a campaign now called the You Inspired. And for me, The Magical Guide to Bliss is one of the things that inspired me to live the life of my dreams. So I, as a gift, and because of the beautiful, wonderful opportunity that I have here with Brigitta, I will be sending the first 5 people who contact me their own copy.
So the first 5 people, email in the subject line, the Success Pattern Show, and email to megnocero@mac.com.
Yes.
megnocero@mac.com. Make sure that you're under those first 5 because they fly away, literally. You want to have one because I'm going to get one. I can't wait to have mine. Meg. Yes. How time flies when we're having fun. How do people get in touch with you?
So I have a webpage. It's megnocero.com. I also am all over social media, Facebook. My name, Meg Nocero. If you type that in, you can find me. I have an author page, inspirational speaker page as well on Facebook, and LinkedIn. I'm there as well. Meg Nocero, Megnocero. And also you can email me as well at the email address that's rolling by at the bottom of the screen.
Sweet. Oh my gosh. So to round today up, which time flies, I'm going to give you a few words. We're going to do a little rapid fire, and you're just going to sound out the first phrase or word or whatever is in your mind. Don't overthink it. Just blur it out. First word, hate.
No. Yeah, no.
Mindset.
Oh, attitude.
Travel.
Fun.
Wealth.
I would say, oh my God, first word. Wealth. Prosperity.
Kids.
Love.
Passion.
Purpose.
Acceptance.
Beauty.
Success.
Amazing.
Thank you, Meg, for being here. Guys, get with Meg. Make sure that you connect with her on LinkedIn, that you send her an email, that you get your book from Meg. Meg, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
I can't wait till we see each other actually in person and get to meet outside of these.
I would love to, if you don't mind, I'd like to, my S.H.I.N.E Networking Inc. has its 5th anniversary event. It's going to be the Shine Bright Ball. It's October 16th, 2022, here in Miami at the Rusty Pelican. I have an Eventbrite link that you can get your tickets. It's a celebration of inspiration. So we're going to be doing Bridgerton ball style. We're going to be opening up the tiaras and all the like. And we invite you all to get back into the world again, celebrate, get inspired, and ready to come alive to the beauty of your dreams.
October 16th, Miami. Be there or be square. How do people get the Eventbrite link? Just email you?
Yes, they can email me, or it's going to be on my webpage as well, and it's going to be on my Facebook stuff, all over my Facebook, or even my social media. So for sure.
Fantastic. October 16th, be in Miami. Could be worst place, right? October, Miami. I mean, that's like a no-brainer. Meg, Thank you so much for being here. Guys, tune in again next Tuesday, same time, same place. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Meg. Ciao, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Success Pattern Show at www.thesuccesspatternshow.com. My name is Brigitta Hoeferle.